Hi everyone, welcome to trick tip number 3. Unfortunately I couldn't post one last weekend, mainly because we had rain for the entire week before, so I couldn't get out to film a trick tip last week. This week we've got 3 tricks again. We're going to be doing the Tailstop kickflip, rail to Casper, and the Casper shove, which is just the easiest way to get out of a Casper. It's just to shove it out. The Tailstop kickflip is going to kind of lay the groundwork for kickflips and toe hook impossibles. For the Tailstop kickflip, it does help if you watch the last video where we covered finger flips. Now the preloading tension we use in finger flips, that's going to apply to the Tailstop kickflip today. For rail to Casper, it's obviously going to help if you can get into rail, which again that's covered in the last trick tip. But if you haven't quite mastered that, that's fine. You can just get the board into a rail and start off in rail rather than getting into rail. With the rail to Casper, we're using it to concentrate mainly on the Casper, as it's the easiest way to get into a Casper. Once we've mastered rail to Casper, that can lead into other tricks such as popping into a Casper, similar to the pop into rail, flipping into a Casper. Caspers will also help us learn harder tricks as well, such as the no-handed 50-50. Right, let's begin. For a Tailstop kickflip, start off in a Tailstop with the toes of your front foot wedged under the skateboard. You should be preloading tension by pulling up on your toes so that when the tension is released by jumping, the board flips. It is possible to do this trick without preloading, but by preloading, you're ensuring that the timing of the flip coincides with your jump. The first few times you try this, you might not land on the skateboard, but pay attention to where the board is going and try and plan your landing to land there. For a railed Casper, have your back foot on the back wheel in a rail with the inside of your foot on the wheel and the outside of your foot hanging over the tail of the board. Note that you can see the wheel just sticking out from the underneath of the inside of my foot. The arch of your foot should be stood on the wood of the skateboard with the majority of your foot hanging over the tail. Whilst balancing on the back wheel, take your front foot and line that up against the grip tape with your toes tucked into the board. We will use our toes to help the board topple the correct way as we shift our weight on the back foot. By unweighting ourselves on our back foot and shifting our toes underneath the skateboard, we can drop the board down into a Casper. In the first trick tip, when talking about Tailstop, I stress the importance of keeping your head between your legs to maintain balance. This is not the case for Caspers. Notice how I keep my head far behind my back foot to keep the front of the board elevated. To shove out of the Casper, you're going to send your front foot backwards and your back foot forwards. The board can rotate horizontally or more vertically. It doesn't really matter so long as you get the right technique and use a kind of scissor kick to spin the board round. If we look again at my more vertical Casper shove, you can see the board wraps around the front foot. So it's important to get your front foot firmly on the board first. Okay, that's all for today's trick tip. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. If there are any questions, contact us on our Instagram or our Facebook. We will be holding a virtual meetup on Monday. We'll be using Microsoft Teams. All Akimbo regulars or anyone who wants to get involved, doing a group video chat, just catching up and saying hi to friends. So if that's something you'd like to join in with, please contact us. I'll leave our email address in the description.